Well, joining us on the program now is Jeff Parker. He's our Chief Executive Officer for Village Management Services. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How was your weekend?
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Wonderful Father's Day. I got to spend it with my daughter, can't beat that.
Yeah, we got some nice weather, and I know traffic was, not too bad over the weekend. So that's kind of always a challenge when you're out, going to see family during the holidays, right?
Yeah, we drove up to Santa Monica area. That's where she lives, and so it was nice going up there. It was a little busy coming back, so I was starting to see people out more. So
Absolutely.
Traffic's getting a little heavier.
Yeah, I was fortunate to take my daughter out to the Dana Point Harbor, and I would say about 25% of the people, usually the capacity there, but the way they had it set up with social distancing is well done, and
good.
It was a nice environment. Great time to get away with the family.
Absolutely.
You have we have some COVID numbers to share.
Yeah, we do.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're very good, especially last week, right?
Well, and a couple of stats that just saw a real big increase. On Saturday and Sunday, the numbers in Orange County for people that tested positive, where we were in that 150, 200 range, we went all the way up to 434 yesterday and 413 on Saturday. So those are really big jumps in the number of people. And yet our testing numbers weren't super high. So the stats wise, that's a really big jump in that. Now, I heard this morning that one of the reasons was they had data that had been collected but hadn't been reported yet, so it was kind of a cumulative. We'll see how that plays out today when we get our stats later this afternoon.
Right.
But those are real big numbers that people should be aware about. As you know, last week the governor said back to wearing masks as mandatory. I think that's because they've seen a spike in a number of states throughout the United States. Florida, Texas, California have had some pretty big number increases. Probably the most important thing that I keep wanting to focus on, though, is how many people we have in hospitals and how many people in ICUs. And those numbers are still high. We're averaging over 325 people in the hospital the last 5 days, so that number is up, and about 130 people in the ICU. So the reason for that concern is that it relates to, unfortunately, the amount of deaths that we've had in Orange County, and that has really gone up a lot in the last 5 to 7 days. And so just want to reinforce to everybody out there, be careful, wear your mask when you're outside, and especially when you're going out, like you said, to restaurants or activities like shopping. Make sure that you wear it, and make sure that those people that are working there are wearing it.
Right.
I know that in a couple of communities, they've had to close some restaurants, even though they just opened them, because they had some employees who have been infected. So that's a scary thing, and we certainly don't want to see that spread. In the Laguna Woods, in the community, the city has 15. So that's up. As you know, we've won more, and we've kind of done this gradual climb in the last 2 weeks, where we were at 9, and then we went to 10, 11, 12, almost one a day, it seems like. Now we stayed at 15, which is good. Hopefully we can keep that social distancing out there and wearing that mask and keep that number nice.
Right. I was looking at some of the numbers here in the surrounding communities. Laguna Beach has about 23,000 people in their city, and they have a number of 53. Laguna Hills has 52, Laguna Niguel 54, and Lake Forest, which is a large city, 86,000 people, have 105. So Laguna Woods is doing pretty well. And it doesn't mean that's in Laguna Woods Village. We have probably 600 residents or homes outside of our community that are within the city of Laguna Woods. So 15 is still a pretty good number.
It's a great testimony to it. In fact, if you look at all the communities in Orange County, I think there's only like 4 that are in our number range, that low a number. So the community itself has done a great job. We know that there's probably some cases outside the community, but to be at 15, it's just fantastic.
That just tells you the efforts that the community has put in to wear a mask, to be safe, to stay at home, and to kind of listen to what the recommendations have been, not only from the state, but from the county, and of course from village management.
And that's important because of the fact that a lot of the individuals live here are at that at-risk category. They're 65 and over, or they have some kind of health condition. So combining those two, play it safe, and be safe.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Exactly.
Let's talk about the pools. We have a chance to open pool 2 and 5 here in the next coming days.
Right. So last week we started taking reservations last Wednesday on the 17th, and on the 24th the pools will reopen, which is great. That's pool 2 and 5, as you indicated. We have designated lanes and spacing so that we have met our COVID-19 requirements under the Orange County Health provisions. We'll also have the cleaning down of the facilities as we change our reservations. So the way it's working is, get a reservation, call in, you get a time for your time. It's 45 minutes in the pool. You can do whatever you want to do in the pool, swim, you can lounge, whatever you want to get in the water. And then we have a 15-minute break in between each reservation, so 45 minutes and a break, so that we can go in there, and as far as on the outside, the handlebars, the getting out, we can wipe those things down and make sure that we're staying clean and healthy with regards to people getting in and out of the pools.
Right. And that's very common because 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, some of the local gyms have opened up. Actually, LA Fitness opens today, and 24-Hour Fitness, same kind of thing. You make a reservation the day before. It's maybe an hour, 45 minutes, and then they shut the place down and then do their cleaning and then start all over again.
And we're doing that with regards to pickleball, paddle tennis. All of those are reservation based now, and we've done that because of COVID-19. So we've continued to do that. Nice thing about tennis is we were able to start the doubles this last week. So I know that there's a lot of people that were excited about that. In our plan that we talked about reopening the village and that we mentioned in our broadcast, we are now looking at what's next. I know that from a statewide provision, you just mentioned it, gyms are allowed, but our community centers are closed right now. So we're evaluating, is there going to be a way that we can open up maybe one of the gyms, given that closed scenario for the community center? So we're evaluating that, Ryan, putting a plan together, seeing how we could implement that plan.
Right. And obviously, that's a very popular item. The fitness has really been one of the most utilized amenities in the last 20 years. Pickleball is now one of the fastest growing sports in the country, but we're able to try and provide those amenities to our residents, but it needs to be done safely.
And one of the other things that the committee was looking at is possible the purchase of some outside exercise equipment that we could put by Clubhouse 1 potentially, or one of the other clubhouses, so that people, at least if they couldn't go in the gyms right now, they could get exercise with those. It's kind of equipment that uses your own weight. But it's a pretty common now, and a lot of cities have put it in their parks program. So it's something we're looking at too.
Very nice, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy that as well.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, by the way, since we and appreciate all the staff time from you and Lisa on TV6, we did that broadcast of our medical professionals. And I just wanted to mention again that we have coming up the June 23rd and June 30th, with regards to broadcasting that and rebroadcasting that this morning. And that's nice because I want people to watch and listen to those medical professionals because they give really good advice about the mask and the importance of that.
That was well done. That was the COVID medical panel that you all put together with Kaiser Permanente and Saddleback Memorial Care.
Correct.
And what I found so interesting about that is it was put together pretty quickly. I don't think people realized that. And we actually had a doctor drop out at the last second as well. And I believe even a PR person from one of the hospitals as well. So to have them come on so quickly and to really talk about the issues that affect not only Orange County, but obviously the world, but how it really is working in Laguna Woods and how these recommendations and the safety measures are put in place. I thought it was wonderful. The gentleman from Saddleback Memorial, well, all three of them were just absolutely wonderful. The interesting thing, they work for different organizations, but they really confirmed one another as to what they were saying and what they were trying to convey to the audience.
And I think that's really the important part of that, is that the cohesiveness, even though they're coming from different organizations, with regards to how the testing was working, what were some of the important elements that people should know about testing, how to go out and get testing if you need it, and then again, wearing the mask, and what was the importance of that, and why, and I think the critical part we always miss, people think that wearing a mask is about them, but it really is protecting other people, is what the mask is really effective in doing.
I know you're a big sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. I thought it was interesting at the RBC over the week, the PGA Professional Golf Tournament. You had Nick Watney, one of the top players in the world. He shows up on Tuesday with Sergio Garcia to do their practice rounds and continue, you know, all the work on the range and all that. They all tested that day. He was negative on Tuesday, and then Friday when he made the cut, they test him again. He was positive.
Right.
So it tells you how 3 days, if he wasn't a professional athlete, he just goes on and does his business, spends Father's Day with his family, does this and does that. So
it is very easy, and that's the asymptomatic element of the COVID-19. There are so many people out there that are infected and are walking around and don't feel it, don't have any symptoms at all. And that's the biggest difference probably of COVID-19 versus any flu or bug or anything that we have. So many people can have it, not recognize it, and then spread it so easily.
Right, and that's why the recommendation to wear the mask is so important, because what you're doing is you're showing a consideration to your fellow beings by wearing your mask, and you know, showing a courtesy to them that we're not going to be sharing germs, and you have respect for their health and well-being as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very important. What else do you have for the rest of the week? Is
you
that
know,
what you have?
we're working on the plan and making sure that we get to that next step. We're looking at our equestrian center, when we can get back into the riding program, making sure we're getting our staffing up. The biggest process for us now is, as we bring staffing back to the organization, we want to make sure that they are protected, that we have our structure in place. So we're working on an overall master plan that will be for how we're going to do the community center with our staffing, and also outside activities with regards to our staffing.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of work on how these protocols are going to come into place and how it affects the customer service, because that's really what we're all about.
Exactly.
Well, we thank you for joining us on the program today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you on Wednesday as well.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
That's Jeff Parker. He's our Chief Executive Officer for Village Management Services, and he brings his report Monday, Wednesday, and Friday usually here on this program. We'll be back with more right after this.